Welcome to part 6 of the league setup demo. In this step, we're going to assign players to teams. If you're an individual player league, you still need to do this step. You need to assign a player to a player number. And I'll explain more on that in a second. So we're going to click on step 6, assign team numbers and groups. And I'm going to choose round number 1. This is the teams that are the team alignment as of round number 1. The way this works is that Golf League Tracker takes the points that players win and applies them to a player number or a team number. And this enables you to rotate guys in and out for a team throughout the season. Some leagues might have a team that is made up of 2, 3, 4 guys, but only 2 play at any one time. So you can tell the system, okay, for round number 1, team number 1 consists of Pedro and Bob. And then for week number 4, maybe Bob gets a different partner of Lisa. Typically, teams stay pretty static through the season, but this allows you to rotate players in and out. In this league configuration, this league also has league groups, which is like a division. And I have a group A and B. If you don't have league groups, you're not going to see this column and you can just ignore it. So it's very simple. You just select what players belong to what team. And I'm going to go through here and pick a player for each one. This is a fake league, so I'm just going to quickly do this here. Okay, so I've set my teams up, and I'm just going to leave everybody in Group A for this demo. And once you're done, you can click Save. And you'll notice now Step 6 has a check mark next to it because everybody's been assigned. So let's say I play 2 or 3, 4 rounds, and a guy drops out after the 3rd round, and I'm going to replace him with another player. So what I can do is go in and choose round number 4, and let's say my partner Pedro dropped out, and Diane is going to replace him. So after I choose round 4, I just go in here and pick Diane from the drop-down and click Save. And now from round 4 and on, Diane is my partner. If I go back into assign team numbers, you can then see that teams were set as of week 1 and as of week 4. So whatever the team lineup is starting at week 1 also applies to week 2 and 3. And whatever the team lineup is at round 4 continues until the rest of the season or until I go in and change the team lineup again. Now, one of the things you may run across when doing your league setup is that it looks like you have everything entered and everybody set up, but it tells you that step 6 is not complete. I'm going to show you a common problem with that. Let's say, let's go back in. First, let me clear out the changes I made for round number 4. So I'm going to choose round 4. And let's say Diane came back and said, oh, you know what? I'm not going to play in this. Pedro's actually going to play. So now I can choose round 4 and select clear the team changes for the selected round. And that will just delete the changes that I made for round 4. And now you'll notice Pedro is back as my teammate. And when I click on the drop down, the teams were set as of round 1 and apply to the rest of the season. So one of the things that you may run across once in a while is in the league setup, after you make some changes to players, step 6 won't be checked anymore. Let's say Pedro said, you know what? I'm not going to play full-time. I'm just going to sub. So I went in here as league administrator and I edited Pedro and I changed him to a sub and click Save. And now when I go back to my league setup, you'll notice step 6 is no longer checked. And that's because my team lineup is no longer valid. So if I go and choose round number 1, you'll see that Pedro is marked as deleted here because he's no longer a regular player. So I need to either put him back as a regular player or, again, replace him with a permanent member who is on the regular player list. So I'm going to pick Diane. She's actually going to start from the start of the season for me and click Save. And now you'll see step 6 is checked again. Another thing that you may run across is that you go and extend the size of your league. So let's say instead of 20 players, I'm going to have 24 players. So I'm going to go into change league settings, go to size and length, and I'm going to change number of players to 24 and click save and go back to league setup. You're going to see a couple things. One, there's no longer a check mark next to set tee times, and there's also no check mark next to assign team. So the reason is, if we go into set tee times, we went from 20 to 24 players. Well, that means we went from 5 to 6 tee times, and the system needs for you to tell it what tee time the extra group plays. So I'm going to change that to 5:38 and click set. And go back to league setup. And now my tee times are set for my league for 24 players. Likewise, if I go to assign team numbers, it now says some teams are set. I choose at round 1 again. And now I need to pick 4 new players because I've extended my league from 10 teams to 12 teams. So I'm going to go down here and pick some new players to fill out the rest of the player list and click save. Great, so now I am all set with 24 players in my league. I've got my tee time set and I'm ready to create the schedule, and that will be shown in the next video.